What's the absolute best memory you have of your dad?
Well, I mean, first of all, let me just say this, Steve. My dad also died at the age of 56 unexpectedly. My dad he was a big guy. My father was 6'4", 285-pound man when he was young and in shape. And then as he got older, he drifted 330, 340, and stuff starts to drop. And so he had heart issues. And I knew that my dad wasn't in great shape, but I didn't know how bad a shape that my father was in. I had gone for knee surgery. I think I left Cincinnati on January 4th, flew out to Vegas to get my knee surgery from the doctors that I used to work with the UFC. I flew back home. I had a post-op on the 6th and flew back home on the 6th. I was supposed to meet my dad on the 7th for lunch or something, and I wasn't feeling really 100% because I just come off of knee surgery and a flight back home from Vegas. So I called my dad that evening and I said, "Hey, Pops, you mind if we cancel and just till tomorrow? I'm just not feeling the best, and we'll grab lunch tomorrow." He's like, "Yeah, sure." So I get a call the next morning. My dad had a heart attack. I was headed down to the hospital when I got the news. I picked up my brother. And then on the way down to Cincinnati, we both picked up my sister. And I'm like looping around lanes. And I had no clue how severe the heart attack was. But when I got there, hobbling in, I'm, on a knee surgery and so I'm hobbling into the hospital. This was a hospital where my father worked. He was an ER trauma unit nurse for some years at University Hospital. And we walked in, my father's friend, Mike, met us at the door because everybody that worked at the hospital knew him. And I just looked at Mike. I said, "Hey, Mike, where's my dad?" And he said, "Well, he's he's not here. He's no longer with us." And I said, "Okay, where'd they take him?" And he goes, "No, Rich, he's not with us anymore." And I'm like, "Mike, I get it. I just need to know where to go so I can go see my dad." Because that's how disconnected I was and shock I was from this whole event. And then I finally understood that he meant that my dad had passed away. So there was that aspect of things, and I didn't realize how bad a shape that put me in emotionally. I didn't have the emotional tools in my emotional toolbox that I needed to deal with my father's death at the time. But being able to reflect on it some years later, true story is that my dad was actually working that morning. My father had quit being a trauma unit nurse. He was working at a methadone clinic. He worked at the desk where they distributed out the medication, and so it was him and like three or four other nurses and one other doctor that worked in this clinic, and there were four of them in the office that morning. And somebody told a joke, and they were all laughing at the joke, and my father slumped over and like put his head down on the counter. My dad's a bit like me. He's, a little bit of a prankster. And so when everybody quit laughing, the doctor finally looked at him and was like, "Rick, like, get up, let's get back to work. It's time to get back to work." My dad didn't move, and they thought he was just being playful. And they're like, "Hey, man, come on, let's get back to work." And he didn't move. And it was like, he coded right there, and they performed CPR, and he was gone. But in retrospect, looking at my father's death now, my dad died laughing, literally died laughing. And there really isn't a better way that the Lord could take you, you know?